Hello, welcome to a VO's Journey podcast. That's right. That's right. It's happening. It's finally happening. I can't even remember the last time we did a podcast, and shame on me. Shame on me. I am flying solo today with the podcast, but I am very excited to be coming to you and talking about 4 revenue streams that you can utilize as a voice actor. We're going to go into these 4 revenue streams to help you grow your voiceover business and get this thing up and moving. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
Oh my goodness, it is so good to be back doing a podcast. It's funny every time I I go to do something or I'm working on the business, I think to myself, gosh, I really need to do a podcast. And it just has been pushed back and back and back. And I do apologize. I know so many of you have told me over the years that you listen and follow me or VO's journey through listening to podcasts, not YouTube, etc. So, I think I've always again had the issue personally with taking what I've done on YouTube and putting it on the podcast because it just feels different. My podcast has always felt unique. My YouTube channel is unique, but the podcast has always felt different for me than that because I always felt like it was the first thing I ever started, as you guys know, and sharing my journey and everything. So it always holds a special place in my heart. So I don't like to use what I put on YouTube onto my podcast, even though I've tried it. I just don't like to. Anyways, so that's just me being silly. I know I shouldn't be like that, but I am. Well, I'm very excited to be coming to you guys today. There's so much that's happened, of course, and I don't want to weigh down the podcast today with all of, because I feel like when I don't do a podcast, which has been happening recently, and then I do one, I just tell you everything that, is just catching you up to date. And I want to make sure the podcast has value to you beyond just knowing what's going on with me. So just I'll make it super brief. We are VO's Journey. We're moving forward. We have Gabby Nistico and Kat Siggers there with us, and wonderful. We've got an Easter special coming up, so make sure you check that out. We'd love to have you. This is a perfect time. Actually, we're seeing great growth in a lot of areas in voiceover right now. So definitely check us out. If you're looking to, grow your voiceover business, you need some coaching. We have courses, a wonderful community. We'd love to have you. So check us out there. Academy Voices. So that is our audiobook publishing and casting business that we have at academyvoices.com. That is doing amazing. We just published. We're really super close to 270 audiobooks. So I'm thinking within the next month or so, we should hit 300 audiobooks published. Very excited because we're also been picking up a lot more authors and clients. So that's very exciting as we're slowly getting our name back out there. It takes time. Just like your voiceover business, it takes time to get your name out there. If you're interested in being a part of our roster, of voice actors, we'd love to have you. We basically, we're posting a job or at least a job every single day. So there's always work there and we'd love to have you. So check us out at academyvoices.com. You can sign up there. So yeah, so that's kind of where everything is right now. I want to get right into these 4 streams of revenue. I did post a YouTube video today on going full, what do you need to do to go full time? But I thought that I wanted to dive more into like 4 revenue streams and kind of alleviate maybe any confusion about revenue streams in general and how they apply to us singularly as voice actors. And what I mean by that is sometimes I think whenever I think of a revenue stream, sometimes, or I think a lot of people do, they think of a revenue stream meaning like, okay, one revenue stream is voiceover, right? And another revenue stream is maybe you write, blogs Maybe you wrote blog articles for, a business, and then another one could be maybe you are a graphic designer or something, like different, completely different categories. But I want to more target 4 revenue streams within voiceover, and particularly where you're getting the revenue from, right? As opposed to completely a different genre outside of voiceover. Because you might be like, well, I'm not a graphic designer. I don't do blogs. I don't, do coding. I don't do XY, I don't do any other digital services. So that's kind of what I want to focus on. So let's kind of break these 4 down. The first revenue stream that I started with, okay, and that is coming from freelance platforms. Okay, freelance platforms, intermediary platforms. These are platforms that you're going to want to put your demos, your profile picture, a little blurb about you up on, and you're going to want to put as many up on these freelance platforms as possible, because if it's free and you can put yourself up there, you should do it. Most of them allow you to charge whatever you want to charge, but I'm just more concerned about you getting yourself up on these platforms so that you are there and you are visible. They're free. So remember, freelance is basically what it means. It's free to be on the platform. Now, some of them have changed. Like, for example, Upwork has become more, you have to pay for your connects. You get some free ones, but you can't really do anything without paying for them. So I suppose it's become more of no, it's still free because their projects are /gigs. You can put up 20, I believe. So so you want to get up on all these freelance intermediary platforms. What's an intermediary platform? So a platform like voicejungle.com, this is a platform where you submit, you apply for it, but it's free to be on it. But what happens is that the people there that run it, they intermediate for you, right? They mediate between you and the client. So you're not necessarily dealing directly with the client all the time. They kind of handle it. Now you can chat with the client through a messaging system, but it's still, they take care of most of it. Same with Voquent. Voquent's another one that's free, right? Voquent.com, but they're intermediary. They deal with the client, they book the work, and then they come to you, right? And book you. And it just goes through them. So they're like intermediaries. But the whole point is all these are free platforms. So it's probably better than to say freelance instead, just say free platforms. Free platforms for you to be on. That is a revenue stream that you need to utilize. Okay, because you will have revenue coming in from these platforms that are free. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is pay-to-play platforms. Now, these platforms, you have, the big ones are like voices.com, Voice123, you've got Voice Realm. You also, now the other ones that have been around for a while, they're not as much, but you have like Voquent, or you have
Welcome to the Growth Hack Podcast, where we ditch the fluff and get straight into the real strategies that fuel business growth. This show is all about smart, scalable, and slightly rebellious ways to build a thriving brand. Come join us.
Badago, VoPlanet. Now at Academy Voices, it's $9 a month to join. So that's not, so I guess it is kind of a pay to play. It's an inexpensive one, but it is a pay to play. So you have Academy Voices, and then so these platforms are, another stream of revenue, because what they do supply to you is a constant stream of auditions, jobs that are being posted, right? And that allows you to always have an opportunity to audition for work. Okay. And I find that very important. A lot of people end up getting stuck in the one spot, like free platforms. And just as a quick note before we move on to the next two after that, just because it's a free platform or three platforms and you see other people making money doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong if you're not making money on that platform, on those free platforms. Do you understand? Don't. That's why we want multiple streams of revenue. You might only make a little bit on those, and you might make more on these other ones that I'm going to tell you. So it's really important to, get on multiple streams like we're talking here, so that in case one stream, in this case we're talking about free platforms, don't seem to be bringing in money for you, you're not freaking out. It's not the end of the world. You understand? And when they do bring in money, it's even better. Okay, so we've got the free platforms, we've got the pay-to-play platforms. Remember, the pay-to-play basically is you pay either like a monthly, yearly, or whatever version of whatever platform they ask you to. And for that, you get typically access to their auditions, the opportunities that are coming through there. Whereas the free platforms are basically, put you up on their platform, and if you get found on the platform or whatever, you can have an opportunity to possibly, talk to a customer and possibly get a job, right? So that's the difference with those. Now, ACX, of course, that's a free platform. They're all auditions there, but that's a very unique one, right? Because it's tied to Amazon. The difference with ACX, though, right, is that you have to be in the United States, or I think you can be in England, but it's really only it's only a few countries. It's not the majority. In fact, I think it's only I think it's only 1, 2, or 3 countries that you can be in that actually gives you access to ACX, which is, a massive gripe for all of our voice actors who are not in the United States. And I totally understand that. So, that's a problem. That's a problem with that platform, which is why I like Academy Voices so much, because I set it up to where you could be anywhere in the world and you can still tap into the market in the US or any other place, because, we go through that main market and those main markets, but that doesn't mean you have to be saddled with that. Does that make sense with that location? So anyways, all right. So we've got our free platforms and our pay to play platforms. The next place that we want to earn money, okay, is we want to earn money through our website. Okay, listen to me now. This is vital for you to be successful in voiceover. We have to start to earn money through our website. Now, how do we do that? We are going to be getting clients through our work on our website. So that means that we are going to build a robust website that has articles, that has help pages, that has guides for the clients that we're seeking. So if you are seeking, like, for example, video game work, then you are going to be building a website where video game designers, casting agents, video game enthusiasts want to come to, okay? Because they're not going to just go to a site. Why would they go to your 1-2 page website, right? They're going to want to go to a site that is going to help them in their endeavors, and in turn, right, you are going to be there when they need to hire voice actor. Like when they need to hire someone, you're going to be there, because they will continue to return to your website. Okay, they will find you via Google or Bing or wherever they're searching, because you're coming up in the algorithms, because you built this website where they are searching for keywords, and they find you and they go to you and they learn more about you. You get them on your email list. So you begin through your website to build an email list, and you start to get revenue from your website. Okay, yes, you're doing voiceover work when they hire you, but again, it's through your website. I have seen this single thing be really challenging for a lot of voice actors, okay, because they get stuck on the free platforms and they get stuck on the pay-to-play platforms, and they never move forward beyond that to solidify their ability, like, for example, to go full-time in voiceover, because they don't have other forms of revenue coming in, like from other places. The reason why I like using your own website is because it's yours. You own it. It's no one else's, right? I mean, I can't go and you own the website, meaning, we know that some platforms, right, they're buttheads, and a client will complain, and instead of them, they side with the client, they don't side with the voice actor. This happens to us a lot on platforms. So we get kind of dinged, we get hurt, our standings, our rankings get hurt, we don't get more work. But on your website, right, you control that, you own it, so that's not an issue with you. With that form. So that third form of revenue from your website, right? The idea here is we're building a robust website that drives traffic to your website based off of the people you are targeting. Here's a little tip though about the website. Do not try to target everyone. I'm just telling you, that's another that's so one is voice actors don't build out websites. They just do like 1 or 2 or 3 pages. And 2, they try to target everyone. Like they don't pick a singular audience to target. If you want to target multiple people, that's fine. Build multiple websites. But I'm just telling you, focus on a singular group or a singular set of clients that you want to and focus all of your efforts on that client. Okay, because it's very difficult to build a website in general, let alone a website that targets everyone. That's the platforms that do that raise millions and millions and millions upon millions of dollars, right? And spend all, like, the majority of that money on ads and marketing, I mean, nonstop, right? Because it is very difficult to target everyone. It's near impossible. So do yourself a favor and target a singular place. Okay? So that's your third revenue stream. Now, you can tell these are getting increasingly more difficult, but very important. And the fourth revenue stream that I'm really, I tapped in a little bit early on, but not much. But now I've really started tapping in more and more, especially with, my business here, but with also Academy Voices. All right, is generating revenue through social media. Okay, this is a very important thing, okay? Because you have to understand, right, that most all advertising goes through social media now. Okay, sure, is there TV ads? Yes, but you and I both know that the majority of advertising that we do is either going to be on a website, it's going to be on a social media somewhere, or it's going to be on a YouTube ad, it's going to be on an ad on TikTok, it's going to be on an ad on Instagram or Facebook. They're online, they're social media. You need to tap into that. That's a fourth stream of revenue. So here's perfect. This is just an easy, simple example. Let's say we're sticking with the character outfit here. Let's say you start a YouTube channel and you start to create some fun, 2 to 4 minute videos of characters that you're creating, right? And you go and you add some fun stock footage to it. You start to have a little series that you've created that's only a couple minutes long. That's not that hard. Okay, you can even, a wonderful thing is now with AI, it can help you outline stories and put things together. You can even hire people to write a 2 to 3 minute episode for you on Fiverr or something. I mean, it's not hard to put this together. And then the point is that you are posting these videos, you are building an audience, you then monetize your social media, and you start bringing in revenue of your own. Okay, so many of you know, right, that we get, as you know, because you've probably done it, get hired by people doing this exact thing for YouTube, and they pay really next to nothing. It's kind of like it's arbitrage, right? YouTube, they're basically, paying people to make videos, paying people to narrate the videos, and then putting them up, building an audience off of the content, and then monetizing it. And they'll build 10, 15, 20 of these channels and just have all this, start building revenue. Now, are some going to be more popular than others? Of course. Okay. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that's a one simple way to use social media to bring in revenue. The thing is that I want to try to say is that it's like, you have to understand this is right. This is a business. And in this business, it's your job as the CEO, right? Not just the voice act, the employee, but it's your job as a CEO to find revenue. This is another great revenue source that's being utilized by so many people. TikTok, the revenue there is to now. I don't know the fate of TikTok, because their deadline comes up and then it goes and deadline comes. So eventually, I'm not sure. The reality is Congress passed a law, and no matter what the administration that's in office does, it's still passed a law that technically TikTok should be banned. So you just have to be prepared for that. But Instagram, all these other, Facebook, all these other places, they all have ways for you to earn revenue now by whether, by posting content, generating content, etc. YouTube, of course, is probably the one that's easiest for us to understand and use, but even podcasting. Right now, I don't do it very often. I've tried occasionally here or there, and I'm, but not much. But you can, do podcasts and make money via putting up sponsors, and a lot of people do. Like, for example, I go through Buzzsprout, but there's Podbean. A lot of these places that help you put up your podcast. They also offer ads that you can put on your podcast, and you can earn revenue, and it's per however many downloads you get paid, X amount of money. And, here's another perfect example. Audio dramas, that's how they're making their money, through sponsors. On the podcasting, the audio drama podcasting and stuff, that's a big thing right now, or growing. That people are putting those up, and they're getting sponsors because people are consuming this. You're listening to this right now. If there was an ad here that said, hey, check out so-and-so, you would hear that because you were, you know what I mean? So anywhere where that's happening, you're going to have an opportunity to make money from. And for you as a business owner, remember, first and foremost, you own a business. You created a business and you own it. It's your job to make revenue, to bring revenue in. And yes, being a voice actor is part of that, but creating content, entertainment, the things that we do, also in our day and age, brings in revenue. This is where all the eyeballs, everything goes, is social media. So don't overlook that fourth stream of revenue. It's funny, I've never talked much about that form of revenue with everybody. I don't know why. I mean, because I use it. I've just never talked about it as much, but you should. I think it's because I'm using it more now, especially with Academy Voices. So and there's so many opportunities, and you can have as many YouTube channels as you want. You know what I mean? It's not like you can't do multiple ones. So, if you already have one, that doesn't mean you can't open another one. All right. So anyways, I wanted to share that as the fourth revenue stream. I probably could come up with more. Here's an interesting one that I'm learning about recently. Do you know that people will pay you if you have a newsletter and you have people that subscribe to your newsletter and read it? People will pay you to put their an ad in your newsletter. Digital, your like an email newsletter. I mean, it's wild, right? And by the way, some people will even, there's people who subscribe to newsletters, right? There's a form of revenue that we had to start thinking about. We have multiple forms of revenue. If you want to grow your business beyond just one side of the coin, we've got to think multiple streams of revenue. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been fun, and I hope you've got the wheels turning in your mind and thinking about all the different streams of revenue that you can utilize. Just a last tip about it, follow. I kind of laid that out 1, 2, 3, 4 in order. In how my humble opinion. Of course, it's your business. You can do whatever you want. Always follow what you want. But at the same time, I found that order helps you start to earn. It's kind of. So that order is from least to hardest, right? Easiest to hardest. So it's easiest to get up on free platforms and so forth and build out, because you got to build out when I say easy, I mean the barrier of entry to get on them is easier. But you got to build all your portfolio up and everything. So that's what's the hard part about any of that and starting. But from a standpoint of just being easy on the platform, that's the easiest, right, to get onto. So I set that up easiest to hardest, and I would recommend following that order. And but here's the last tip, and then I'll let you go for the day. And then I'm excited. We've got a podcast that don't be upset with yourself if you feel like you want one to be working more than it is, like one platform to be doing better than it is, one area. You've got so many different areas to go after. Don't let one platform or one area, bother you so much to where it stops you from moving forward. Does that make sense? Okay. Keep going. Don't stop, even if it's not working so much on one platform. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. It was awesome. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Check out VO's Journey. Peace.